Hey, what's up guys, it's Talon. Today I'm going to show you guys the counter to range top laners slash the counter to AD top laners. So in this game we're going to be laning against a 132 mark Sovereign Jace player, and we're going to be into a heavy AD comp where their only AP champion is Katarina. And usually Malphite's going to be a really good counter pick, especially after his buff. If you get picked, a range top laner or an AD top laner, and the enemy's only AP champion is an assassin, because assassins don't really have the best time killing a tank Malphite, even if the Malphite is stacking armor. You're going to see it in this game, we're going to get up to, I think, 687 armor, because the second ability passive actually gives you more armor. And also, quick note for the upgrade order, which what I do in this game, but I mess it up. You're supposed to, on tank Malphite, go second ability max as your second or your first max, because it gives you additional armor. But I maxed my first ability, then my third ability. It's okay to max your first ability for tanking it, or for a poke rather, in the lane phase, but the second max should definitely be the second ability, and even sometimes just doing it first. But so far in the lane phase, the main thing when you're playing into these range top laners is just play around your first ability, poke a little bit, play around your shield, let them poke you with your shield, but then wait for your shield to come back up. You don't need to solo kill people early on in the lane. The main goal is just to get through that lane phase at roughly an even amount of gold, and you're going to hard outscale in this type of lane. You can see how I'm going to trade with him when I have my shield up, because I'm going to be able to win a trade with shield with my full combo, but I'm not going to trade with him super hard apart from that. You can see how he's already losing a lot of mana, more than me, and I'm overall in a really good spot in this lane phase already, because I'm just trading around my shield. Similar to how I told you guys to trade around Camille shield, you also want to be trading really hard around the Malphite shield as well as the Malphite first ability. So if you're trading around these things, you're going to stack up a big wave. And then notice how I ping my jungler, and actually my jungler is the rank 1 player on their server right now, Valhalla. So we happen to have a really high elo game where the Jace, the enemy Jace, is I think rank 6 at this time. The enemy bot lane is a challenger and sovereign duo where they have a sovereign ADC and a challenger support. And then we have, rank 1, and then obviously I'm also, I think, a rank around 20 at this time. So quite a high elo game overall. And again, notice how we're stacking up a really big wave. Because our jungler is good at the game, they're going to notice that we want to stack a big wave. We're going to ult the Jace, and we're going to make him lose an entire huge wave. The main issue with Jace here is that Jace did not try to stack the wave, or did not try to kill the stacked wave and try to get prio. Because typically these champions like Jace and, even ADC top laners in a Malphite should be able to get prio early on. And it's more about later on where they're going to have more issues. But here we tried to kill the Viego. We end up getting them 1 HP, then the Lee Sin gets to finish there, and so we get 3 turret plates. We deny an entire wave of the Jace, we stack that wave really nicely, and we just put ourselves in a very great spot. Typically for the runes, you're going to go for Grasp, you're going to go for Precision Tree runes with stuff like Second Wind, with stuff like Courage of the Colossus is one that you can go. You can also go Nullifying Orb. I would say Nullifying Orb is probably going to be better overall. And then for the last one, you can go for like Perseverance, or whatever you need. Overgrowth as well is good there. And then as the additional rune, you're going to go for Mana Flow Band, because Mana Flow Band is going to help a lot in the early lane phase since you do run out of mana pretty quickly. So that's kind of going to be the typical rune setup for tank Malphite. And then you're going to, again, trade around those types of cooldowns as well with the Grasp and everything like that. And then for the build, you're going to go for Armor Boots, and then just whatever tank items work in the game. Iceborne Gauntlet's a really common, good first item. You can also play Heartsteel. If you are into a tankier champion who's easier to hit a lot, you could go Heartsteel. But like I said, we're picking this as a counter into range top laners a lot of the time. And when we're countering range top laners, we're probably going to go for Iceborne Gauntlet first. And then after that, kind of going to depend on the game for what you want to build. This game, we're going to have... I forget what my second item is. We'll see it later. We'll see what the second item is later. But I know that I later on get Frozen Heart in this game, and I get, I believe, Thornmail as my last item. But yeah, there's definitely, obviously a lot of tank items just depending on the game for what you would want to buy there. And so again, in the lane phase, we're just kind of playing pretty safe. We're just building up big waves, making sure that even if we do get ganked, we're not going to get a wave crashing us in Dove or whatever like that. Because again, as the tank Malphite, you scale so well in this game, you don't actually care that much about getting ganked or about dying every once in a while. Instead, you're just going to stack up those waves. You're going to try to play around having big waves. And again here, I'm going to go for the ult on him because my jungler is coming. So we're just going to set up in another big wave stacked in Dove. And this guy is just, falling way behind. So, one of their high elo players is falling behind. And then they do end up rotating on us, so we do end up dying. And you can see how Katarina is able to do so much more damage than other champions to me. Because if you guys don't know how Malphite works, the second ability gives you additional armor. And obviously we're stacking a lot of armor with our build. So generally speaking, AP champs are kind of going to counter him. And that's exactly why we want to pick Malphite when enemy have a lot of AD. And even here again, the only champion who can really do anything to us is the Katarina. Everyone else, especially later on in the game, they're not going to be able to do anything against us. So at this point, again, we're fine with just scaling. We've set up, you know, some nice waves for our jungler to play around. Even if our jungler didn't play around them, we would have just gone even and we would have outscaled the Jace. We're kind of fine with whatever. Looking for vision here just to see if there's anything we can do, but probably just going to go back and get the wave. And again, just focus on clearing the wave. That's the main thing. But yeah, here again, make sure for your upgrade order, you're going for your first ability as your max, or you can max your second ability right away, but then make sure you max second ability as your second, because you're going to get that armor bonus. It's going to be really useful. Whereas again here, I start maxing my third ability because I just like, you know, out of habit for when I would play AP Malphite. But yeah, they buffed the armor on tank Malphite, and they nerfed AP Malphite, so it's definitely much better to play tank Malphite in pretty much all scenarios now. Really just a good counter pick in those scenarios, and that's kind of what we're doing it for. So here again, we're going to get the Iceborne Gauntlet soon as well. We have a lot of gold for that. But for now, we can just sit here and poke him. Again, we're up a level. He really can't damage us. I mean, it's such a good counter to Jace. It's a good counter to pretty much any ADC top laner, or any range top laner for that matter. And look at this trading as well, because of the fact that we have such a big gold lead. We're just able to trade with him really, really hard. And then potentially find an all-in angle on him is what we're kind of looking for. But obviously, because our team is topside, we don't exactly know where all the enemy jungler is. But luckily, we get really good RNG. RNG stands for basically randomness, random number generator. And so that randomness allows us to get the turret. And then we go for the all-in onto the Jace afterwards. As soon as he flashes, we ult onto him. And we run backwards. So if he third abilities us, we just get knocked into the wall. And we get the solo kill onto the Jace. And we're just so far ahead at this point. Really absurd. Gold lead here, so now we're going to get our Iceborne, we're going to get Gargoyle, and we're just going to be in a very good spot now. Oh, Searing Crown, I always forget about that item. Right, so I go Searing Crown, Twin Guard, Randuin's, and then Thornmail, so hopefully that kind of helps you out with the build. The Twin Guard's nice to get a little bit of MR on yourself later, because you don't want to have no magic resist. But obviously, again, we're picking this mainly as a counter to AD. And then now we're just going to go hover mid here because the Katarina's dead. We came back after having a really strong power spike, so now we're just going to push out mid, and then we can go back to bot lane after, but we're going to play around this turret first and see if we can maybe help our team get that turret or whatever. Since the RE goes and covers the bot lane, we're pretty safe. We're going to ward over the wall so that Viego can't surprise us or anything, and just get another free turret. So we're just kind of doing a really good job of snowballing this game so far. Just, you know, huge gold lead. We have a 1500 gold lead on the Jace, which you're normally not even going to get that big of a gold lead early. Because again, you're not going to hard win lane. That's not really what this pick is for. It's more for the later parts of the game and really scaling up and being really useful at that point. I'm yawning because I'm tired. But still want to make a video even though I'm tired. I'm tired a lot. It's kind of a thing that happens to me. Probably sleep more. That might help a little bit. But if you guys don't know what the third ability also does on Malphite, it'll slow people's attack speed when you go onto them. So that's another reason it's a really good counter into ADCs and everything. So here again, we're just going to try to get a kill onto the Viego. We have the nice setup with a Yasuo. And then we're going to go into everyone so we can get our Gargoyle. Lee Sin's going to come up, pop off a bit, do his thing. Katarina, 1 HP. We do end up getting the kill. We flash out. And then this is where Tristana starts to do pretty well, but we kind of slow her down with our first ability, so she's not able to do too much. And then Lee Sin goes in and pops off there as well, and then we're able to get more kills. So now we're about to hit our crown. So now hitting 2 items at this point in the game, I mean, for Malphite, very, very accelerated early on. And again, this is a game that goes very well early on, and so is more of like a stomp. And again, I have plenty of videos for you guys on how to play, you know, really close games, how to play games from behind ahead, and we're going to continue to give you guys those types of things always. But some of these games, when we're trying to show you counter picks, I don't get opportunities to pick the counter pick, you know, all the time. So when I have a gameplay that's good, even if it's a bit one-sided, we're going to show it to you. And again, I'm laning, you know, a sovereign player. The enemy still have sovereigns on their team, so there's still, like, you know, a lot of things. So, you know, it's still a higher level game, but it is a good early game that we had. And then I'm going to show you as well, some things go wrong late game that then can showcase Malphite's strength. So we'll see some of the late game strength of him as well. And you're just going to see how tanky I am when anyone not named Katarina tries to kill me. So that's definitely something that you're going to want to pay attention to. And we will look at the armor numbers later too. Again, I hit, I think, 600 something armor at some point. which is pretty absurd. But just look how little damage he does to me. Like, look at this. I just walk at him. I make him flash. He tickled me. A Viego tickled me, not in a weird way, but like, you know, basically no damage done to me by the Viego. And I'm doing half his health, even as the tank, because the Iceborne Gauntlet gives you pretty good damage. And when you're this far ahead, you're just going to do nice damage anyways. The Crown got some damage on it as well. And now we're just zoning them off, and really, what can they do? If their name is not Katarina, like I said, nothing happens to me. I don't take damage. I'm just sitting here, you know, menacingly scaring them off. Diego lost his flash already because we blew it earlier, so now he just dies for free. And the game is looking really smooth at this point. We're pretty much in an impossible to lose position unless we like really throw this game, which it happens. Sometimes you throw games, but right now we're just kind of seeing, can we find anything to do? Nice little kick from the Lee Sin there onto the Yasuo. From Valhalla is the guy's name, by the way. Valhalla, the rank 1 rank 1 player, but he's on Lee Sin this game. So we're just going to let our team kind of do their thing there now because Lee Sin backed off and we don't really want to make a play without Lee. We're just going to push out waves instead. There's no real objective up, so there's not anything we need to do urgent. Instead, we're just going to make sure we get some gold onto ourselves. Get that twin guard so that we can start getting some magic resist so that we don't get melted too hard by the Katarina. And then again, just walk menacingly at anyone who can do attack damage and scare them off because they won't really be able to damage us. So that's really the main plan here. And with Malphite, unlike some other top laners, you're not really trying to split push. You're just trying to push lanes out so that the enemy can't split push. And then you're trying to go team fight with your team because you're a very strong team fighting champion with the ultimate, with the armor, the attack speed slow, the AoE on your third ability, and kind of your second ability as well. So you're really mainly focused on that. But that is kind of the main job of Malphite. So you see how I'm gonna let my teammate cover that, and then because everyone is on the wrong side of the map, I'm just like, okay, let me hover Baron to make sure nobody takes the Baron. I'm trying to ping it to make sure my team's aware of it. Again, obviously we have a really good jungler. He's gonna be aware of the Baron, and then here we're gonna be like, okay, let me see if I can kill the Viego, and we're just gonna, you know, again, menacingly walk at him and do a bunch of damage to him as he dies to our turret, which gives us a free Baron. Viego's certainly unique. I don't exactly know what he was thinking there, but I guess he was stuck between a rock and a turret, so you know, you don't have that many things that you can really do at that point, and now we're just gonna pop off on them. Pretty free fight at this point. Again, team does a good job here at this point because we are very ahead. We're snowballing very well, and so we get a free Baron. So we're gonna skip through because, you know, the Baron's pretty free. We're gonna utilize the Baron to just split push a bit, go onto the sides here, you know, do some basic things. Our team continues to pop off a little bit. We're just getting the turret. We're just going to continue getting the turrets, you know. That's a really good way to use the T-Rex at this point in the game, is just to get as much gold and potentially push turrets if we can. So again, we're just going to use the third ability to slice that. He's going to get a nice kill there. I'm going to try to KS him with the T-Rex, but I guess I'm just not a good enough T-Rex to do that. We're going to snipe this turret while simultaneously buffing the minions to get this turret as well. I mean, the minions would be buffed anyway, but either way, you know, we're pushing that. And the game is looking solid. We're going to get 2 inhibs. We might even get the third inhib. I don't remember for sure. But yeah, at this point, you know, game is looking pretty unlosable. We're just super far ahead. So again, I'm going to skip through to you guys to just show you later part where the Malphite strength kind of comes in after we do have a little oopsie here. Where, okay, we get the soul. Again, recalling, I'm on 4 items now. I have Twin Guard, Frozen Heart. I have, what is this? Crown and Iceborne Gauntlet. And so then here, my team, they throw, right? You know, they're being some silly gooses. They're like, oh, we're ahead a bunch of gold. We're going to go do whatever we can. But then my team, you know, they die. And not looking too hot. Luckily, Tank Malphite is here. And so the enemy are pushing. We're just going to be patient. But I'm going to look for an ult angle on them because, again, they're grouping up. They're being silly gooses as well, guys. So here you're going to see in a second the power of the Malphite when you can land an ult even at this point when you're this tanky, because they just barely can kill me. I'm waiting for a nice opportunity, and boom, we go in. We get 3 of them. We get the double kill. Tristana's the only one alive, but she just can't even deal damage to me. We flash onto her. We get the triple kill, which lets us essentially just go grab the Baron and then end the game. So I'm not going to, you know, show you guys all the boring parts, but I just think it's pretty funny, you know, how tanky you can be, how well you can counter these champions if you're stacking up waves, especially. If your jungler is coordinated with you, you're going to be able to get really good early advantages. And if you can't get an early advantage, you're still going to be very tanky later on in the game. It's not going to be as straightforward as what you saw here, but it's still going to be pretty easy. So we're going to recall and just continue to try to push this. And to try to push our advantage. So, you know, our team's going to get the Elder Dragon. I'm just going to zone them as we're on the Elder. make sure nothing happens. I did take a lot of damage. So I want to show you this actually, because you will see, you know, Katarina can still deal a bunch of damage to me. And look at that. Like, she still does good damage to me. She's not one-shotting me because I'm still tank Malphite, but she does a lot of damage. And so that kind of puts me in a not a great spot. I have to recall again because of that fact. But we hit our 5th item as well. We go and we just kind of end the game here. So that's basically it for the video. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope that this counter pick is useful for you guys. I hope you're able to utilize it to counter those pesky range top laners or heavy AD comps that we all kind of hate playing against. But yeah, that's really going to be it. I have coaching for $15 an hour. You just DM me on Discord as an autofill player who's hit rank 5 multiple times. You know, I think I can provide you guys value. Just Talon1169 on Discord or through the link in the description. And then also I have memberships on my channel for $5 a month where you get access to my coaching notes. You get access to videos early and some other cool things like that. So anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoyed.